Hello everyone and welcome to this video. I wanted to do a quick video today just with the information I've been receiving over the weekend and what I've been experiencing. There's been really a lot of energy building through the whole week and then a major shift throughout the weekend. What I've been shown is that there has been a timeline shift, which means that a whole collective has jumped from one timeline to another. So what I've been shown is that even the frequencies we were in a week ago are no longer accessible. So it's almost like a complete shift of reality. Well, not almost, it is. Of course, it can feel the same if we're playing into the illusion of what the mind is telling us. But if we are really present, I will guess most people have really felt there has been something shifting. That can be something coming up, some old wounds, it can be traumas coming up, it can be physical things, it can be just something opening up when it comes to the path forward, it can be sudden epiphanies, it can be everything, but like a sudden shift, something moving. There's a movement in the energy in the body and in our perception. What I've been shown is that as we've been moving throughout the shift and with all the energies we've been in over especially the last couple of years, it's been, even though it's been speeding up constantly and we are in this what I call in the channelings the great turmoil, which if you've listened to my videos before, you will have heard me mention that, which is all the chaos in the world with the old systems that are crumbling and falling. So as we are in this period and everything looks intense and we've been moving through a lot of things both individually and in the collective and in the society, in the world, and we still are, and there's a lot still going to happen in the collective and in the world on the world stage. But what has happened now is that as we've been moving, even though it's been speeding up and there's been a lot shifting over the last couple of years, it has now been a major shift, which is a preparation to another similar, even bigger shift, which will be coming. I have not gotten any timeline on that shift. What I've been receiving about the shift that we have had now is that it's going now to be, at least it looks like, and take this with a grain of salt, because when it comes to the time frame, it's very difficult to predict because everything is shifting very often and it is responding to the energy of each and every person, adding up to the collective, and also the energies from the cosmos, from the sun, and up from the earth. So talking about time is, in one sense, it doesn't make sense at all. But it looks today like a couple of months with an integration of the energies that we have been in and the shift we have been going through. That does not mean that there will be smaller shift and things happening, because it most certainly will. But it does not currently look like the even bigger shift will happen until at some point after that. What's happening now is that there's a physical anchoring of the higher frequencies on a whole new level. So what I've been shown is that people that has been awakened. Now, bear in mind that when I use that word, I don't say that in a way that being awakened or unawakened is any better or worse than. We are all higher frequencies, we are all higher consciousnesses, we all have that light in our bodies, and we are awakening and becoming aware of the bigger picture of everything in a different time, and there's nothing better than or worse than. So, and this is some of what is important for this shift as well, because what I've been shown is that as we are anchoring these higher frequencies in the physical, so this is not only understanding it, it's not only starting to play with it and listening to a couple of videos here and there. It is really living it, it's breathing it, it's anchoring it in the lifestyle, it's becoming a human in a whole different state. So we're moving through our lives, starting now to move through our lives in a different state of being. That means that we're anchoring in the physical, in the way we live, in the way we move around with other humans, with other sentient beings, the ways we want to live our lives, what we want to do, maybe what we want to eat, how we perceive things. All of these things will probably start shifting even more now. Because what I've been shown is that many people that have awakened and are sort of in the first waves of what many people refer to as wave shovers are no longer going to be sort of the bridge between the old and the new, because it's been almost like having one foot in the old world and one foot starting to tiptoe into or become more and more present in the new world. Now the new grid is here. The new grid is on the earth. It's there. The energy is moving in the new grid. The new frequencies are here. The sun is blasting us with a whole different set of frequencies, and we are receiving more and more of it. The earth has shifted, and she's also blasting us with really high frequencies. And so we are shifting whether we are aware of it or not. But what this bridge is about is that those that has awakened before, so if you're watching this video, you're most probably aware of all of these things. And then maybe you've been living with one foot in the old world and one foot in the new world. What I've been shown is that this has been sort of like a bridge, and that has been going two ways. So both because we've been trying to sort of mingle with people that maybe aren't seeing things the same ways as we are. And I really don't like saying they and we, because it creates an illusion of a separation where it really isn't. So please be aware of that when I say or use those words, that I don't mean it in a way of separation. It's just the language is difficult to use in unity. But the people that are choosing to wake up at a later point, it's like those that has awakened at an earlier point have been trying to both live in that world and function in that world at the same time as they've been trying to ground into and move into the new earth or the new frequencies. And that works for a while, and it's bit back and forth because a lot of is shifting inside of us. We have to become aware of everything, all our own shit and all our own amazingness, everything, and change our ways, change patterns, all of this that is happening as we are moving into higher frequencies, and all of the lower density and frequency that has been held in the bodies, that has to go little by little. But then there has been for many a time where it's been like one foot in two worlds, and that doesn't work anymore. So this shift that has been now is really about having to move that foot which you have in the old world over to the new frequencies and really live it. That can affect relationships, that can affect the ways you look at things and you perceive things, that might cause some more things you have to let go of constantly. It might have to make a shift in your identity. More of the identity structure you will have to let go of, that you will have to change. Maybe other people won't understand you, even though many have been through those things in stages. It's different now. It's also the other way. So it's also because many have been afraid of the separation, or of the distance to the others. And this is why this has happened now and not before, from what I have seen. It is that we have so much more of that higher frequency accessible, and we're holding so much more of it in our bodies. And so what's really happening now is that we are closer, and we can access that unity consciousness, so we can actually move into it without having to judge or blame or talk negatively about or separate from. We can live in a new way. We can really anchor into the physical, a new way of living, a new way of maybe producing food, a new way of being with others, a new way of accepting ourselves, and really living and daring to do what we want to do, to be authentic, to be transparent, to find the connections that we want to be in, and to really do the things that we want to do, live the way we want to live, behave in maybe a very different way with others, without it having to be in an opposition or in judgment or against something else. Because if we had been trying to move into, which many have many times on the journey here, trying to move into a higher frequency, trying to live a way that we imagine that is the right spiritual or the higher frequency or whatever label we want to put on it. And we try to do that. We try to maybe have, wear symbols or have these signs or do things or say things or use certain words to try to be something, or the way we, and also doing the work, of course, doing the inner shifting, doing everything and moving and changing, but not really for many up to this point has it been truly authentic, because it has been moving towards something that we have had only maybe an image of or an idea of, without really embodying it. And what we have been doing for a while is embodying more and more of our own light. And as we have been clearing and clearing and clearing all that old shit that we have been holding and changing patterns and all of this, we've been ready for the shift of the timeline, so we can actually jump into a different timeline where things will speed up even more. And it has been going rather rapidly the last months, but what I've been shown is that it will speed up even more, because we can hold more, and we can actually now put both legs in the same world, really anchor it in and live it, breathe it, be it, without being in that opposition, without judging, because we have cleared enough to be able to do that. Now, when this is integrating, what I've been shown is that there will be a huge amount of people. So around the same time, I don't know when, but it looks like just a massive amount of people that will, in a very short amount of what we experience at this time, that will awaken. So really anchoring and living this now, and focus on the world we want to create, and to live in that joy, in that creativity, to keep shifting, to keep being present with what happens in the body, and to let ourselves do this and really anchor it, and not shame ourselves, not try to fit into both, but actually just living who you are, just living who you want to be, and express that and breathe that and be that fully, that is actually being the best example for those that are waiting, that are just on the verge of awakening, and that's a lot of people. And so the importance is of putting both feet into the same boat instead of standing trying to be in both may feel challenging, because it may feel like you're distancing yourself, or you may feel that you can't do certain things that you used to do, or ways of living or ways of being that you used to. And it can affect relationships. But if we remember that it's not, if we do it with an open heart and we're just living ourselves, being ourselves without needing someone else to agree with us, or needing someone else to be the same or have the same perspective, but hold that unity consciousness more and more, and give space for others to be who they want to be and what they are. That is the frequency of your heart. That's the frequency of your home. So when you're really standing solid and strong in that frequency, that emits out. And that is the biggest effect that we can have on this planet. Because as you are emitting more and more of that light out of you, because you're not hiding or dimming it or letting old programs try to tell you how to be or how to do, then what happens is that this light is just beaming out, reaching more people. Other people will be inspired because they see you just daring to be who you are without being negative or judgmental or in opposition to someone. You can just be you without needing someone else to be wrong. And you're just being in that energy, and you're really anchoring that higher, those higher frequencies. So the old ways will be falling away. So what's left of old behaviors, old thought patterns, old, especially they keep telling again and again as I'm talking now, I'll just do this because I always used to do it, or they expect this from me, or this is just the way people do it, and it's not really a big thing, it's just like this small little thing. Those type of things are what is falling away now, because we're going 100% into anchoring the new. So all of those old small patterns, ways of just accommodating, are falling away now. So detaching keeps being a big theme, as it has been for a while, but it's going to be the more, if we are in resistance to this movement, and we are in resistance to letting go, or we are in resistance or in fear of actually opening the new doors, because that's a big one as well, because more and more will be opening. If we really embody and we embrace these frequencies and we embrace who we are, things will be moving really, really quickly in a very positive direction. And so we will need to open ourselves for that as well. Then if we are in resistance to all of this, or we have the fear around it, it will be more challenging. But if we can just let go, and we can remember that this is actually the ride we signed up for, and we have now shifted into a whole new timeline where we are ready to be 100% in that anchoring of the higher frequencies, because we're so much closer to holding that unity consciousness. So it won't cause that separation that it would have been with the awareness and the collective consciousness that we had 2-3 years ago. Let me just see there. They keep chatting. Yeah, they're reminding me of the nature. the importance of connecting with nature, because the nature is also, it will help to balance the energy. So when we are anchoring these higher frequencies and we are letting go, and we are sort of maybe in between some days or some moments that we feel like this is maybe challenging, or where am I, or can I get my bearings, being in nature will help stabilize the frequency, because the nature is holding that higher frequency. So that will be sort of a calming recalibration for the body to be in nature and connect with anything of the nature. Yeah, that's important in the time coming. Let me check my notes. I think that's the most of it. I will just see if there's anything more. Yeah, so, okay, two things. So with this whole movement that we've had with the timeline shift now, think of it as now we are in the higher frequency, we are in the new. And if you understand and you know that you're in it, what do you want to create? If you think and you have the perception and the perspective that I am going to get there, you will always be in movement towards it and you won't be in it. But how would your perspective shift if you understand that what you've been feeling and what you've been experiencing over these last days have been a shift in the timeline, and you can actually tap into that, be in that, and create from that? Can you give yourself that allowance? Because the only thing that will stop it is if you don't give yourself the allowance. So that's really why they want to convey this message now, is so that you can open to actually just let yourself do what you want to do. Because that's the highest on so many levels. The other thing they're saying now is the children. There will be a lot of children starting to remember. So there's many children, I mentioned that before, that are coming in with a lot of knowledge about technology that I will bring in, many different things that I will bring in, and they're starting to remember. So there will be quite a lot of children in the time coming who will start remembering. So if you are around children, if you're a parent or you're having children around you, and they suddenly start talking about something that may or may not make sense to you, or it might be dreams they're having, pay attention to it, give them support. It might not be a dream, it's most probably a remembrance. So just stay open, let them tell and let them explain, and let them help them to just ground into the physical with that reality that they are holding. Because there will be really a lot of children starting to remember maybe where they're from, what they are here to do, maybe places they want to go to, or something they want to do, or something they want to investigate, because they're starting to remember why they're here and why they wanted to incarnate, what they are here to do in this time. Now remember, no pressure from the adult as to what we might want for our egos. It's all of the child, so just give the space and they will lead it. But know that if anything like that happens, it's just on time, and there will be many experiencing this in the time coming. I hope this is helpful for you guys. Please let me know in the comments how you've been experiencing the last days. I love reading your comments, and thank you to everyone sharing and liking the videos. It's very helpful. I wish you a beautiful day and a good week, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.